Hey, what's up everybody? BDF 44 coming at you with another video. Alright, so came out the house with intentions of enjoying myself. Don't quite know what's out here, but just like I do every day, just getting out. Or not every day, but trying to. Decided not to do my squats again. I don't know what's wrong with me in regards to doing that routine this week, but I ain't doing it. But I'm getting plenty of exercise, I always tell y'all. Just supplementing it with walking these days and climbing steps and all of that, so. Yeah, man, it's a hot day though. I'm not gonna lie, it's about 82, 83 degrees. Feels a little hotter than that because there ain't too much of a breeze, but you know, for the most part, I'm doing all right. What was that? Felt like a breeze came by and just threw a bunch of sand in my face. I don't know what that was about. But anyway, trying to maintain my positivity, man. Just doing what I gotta do, you know, to keep my energy strong, get as much of the Lord's sunlight as possible. Did my Laker video. Encourage you guys to check it out. Lakers play the Clippers this evening. You know, about 7 o'clock. So I figured if I leave the house around 2, I'll probably get home before the end for sure. But you know, it is what it is, man. I just don't know what to think in regards to my buddy there. You know, there's a lot of times you try to fill in the blanks for yourself when you deal with people that don't communicate with you. You don't know what to think. You don't know what's going on in their head, and so. This is another day where that's the case. But you know, I communicate my point of view as I always do. I'm a pretty solid communicator, so I hope that lands where it needs to land. But it's just like anything else, man. When you deal with people that don't like to speak about their feelings, about whatever it is that they have going on in regards to you, you really don't know what to think. You start pairing. Like what I do is I start pairing other behaviors that have shown me that. I was like, all right, am I being toyed with? Because I've been around a lot of player energy. It's like people keep you around their finger. So it's like, you don't know if she's engaging in that type of stuff to where, okay, I'm not going to talk to him for 3 days, let him go crazy about me. Then it's like, is that what this is? Because if that's what that is, I'm going to get turned off when I get a whiff of what that is. If that's what that is, then I'm definitely going to back away. Because I don't like being toyed with mentally. I already got enough problems. I don't need the people that I deal with to have this mentality, this man-like mentality. You know what I mean? I'm not, in a very respectful way, I'm not gay. So I don't want to be dealing with no men. You understand what I'm saying? And so I don't know if that's what she's engaging in, to where she's been taught how to do this by dudes. I don't know what the hell that is. You know what I mean? So that's what I've been thinking about for the last 20 minutes in regards to her. It's like, I think I'm being toyed with. Am I being messed with? Like, is this some weird psychological game where I'm not going to talk to you while you go crazy over me? And it's like, if that's what that is, our friendship's going to take a dive. It's going to take a dive. I remember I was dealing with this one girl, this Asian girl. I didn't even really deal with her. I just went out on an outing with her one time. Actually, it was 2 times. It was one day she wanted me to help her move. And I helped her move. I had my car at the time. And then she wanted me to come out and go out with her somewhere. I think we went to Santa Monica or something. But everything went cool both of the times I hung out with her. But one time she called me while I was at work and just kept asking me the same question over and over again. And it got to a point where I realized I was being screwed with. I was like, she's doing like a social experiment on me. She's trying to see me answer the same question like 9 times. You know, it got to a point where I had to ask her, like, why are you asking me this again? You just asked me that before, and it was like, okay, she's getting a kick out of this. She want to see how stupid I am in regards to allowing her to keep doing that. And I stopped talking to her, cut blank. I got off the phone. She called a couple more times. I never answered the phone again. I was cool. I don't like people playing with my head, you know what I mean? So I'm like, is this kind of what she's engaging in? Some twisted psychological kick that people get sometimes when they mess with other people who they know are gonna go crazy over them. Because when you ask somebody to communicate with you, the very least they could tell you is no, you know what I mean? Or to go away, to stop bothering me. I've never had nobody have a problem telling me if they wanted me to either be around or not be around, or that they dealing with somebody else, or that they just on some other stuff they ain't really up for. But once just nothing is silence. And then when they want to call like a couple days later and be like, oh yeah, what's up, how you doing? Like, ain't no problem. It becomes a situation where I start wondering what their mental health is. It's like, and we talked about hers in regards to she's been through some trauma lately, but it's like even before that, it was like she could care less whether I'm here or not type energy. And I tell y'all, I only really get attached to people in certain situations when they show me something that I can really feed off of in a positive light. If I see that you don't care early enough, believe me, I ain't gonna care either. I don't have no problem walking away from people. But the problem is when I'm not certain, but you've shown me that you care a great deal and you said you cared a great deal. It's like, well, at least tell me you don't care no more. I never had a problem telling nobody I don't give a shit no more. I haven't. And usually the relationships and friendships that I've had in my life have gone pretty well because of the fact that I was able to communicate with them one way or another. But with this particular person, communication is like, it's on her terms, and it's like you have to unlock it. And that, my friends, is really strange to me. I don't get it at all. And so I go through the rigmarole of trying to figure this out. I pray about it and all this stuff. At the end of the day, I don't know what to do. But I am wondering if I'm being screwed with. I am wondering if she's sitting back laughing with like her friends, looking at her phone as I'm tripping. And if that's what that is, love can turn to dislike quick as hell with me, because I'm offended by that type of energy. So I don't know what this is. I don't know. You know, she's got a very much of a hold on everything in regards to the communication. And so to take back my strength, it's a temperament thing for my mental health. It's not even about whether or not I agree that my strength should be taken back. It's about whether or not I can get to that point to where I'm not letting my ego drive me to communicate with her unnecessarily while she's not responding at all. I sent her some inboxes this morning, some stuff, telling her basically that I want more communication. She didn't respond to it, left it on scene. It's like, yo, if that ain't disrespect, what the hell is it? And of course, a natural person, including myself, would tell someone else, just leave that person alone. But I'm having a hard time doing that based on my mental health. It's like, nah, I want to hear, like my ego is ruptured. It's like, nah, I want to hear from you. What is going on? You know, because when I do talk to you, you act like nothing ever happened. That's what she did a couple days ago. I sent all that stuff. She said a couple lines of talking. I said happy Halloween. She sent me happy Halloween back. And then sent some little shit. I'm like, are you mental? Like, what the fuck? Like, excuse my language, but like, it's almost like that dystopian thing we talk about with the celebrities. Like, what are we doing? So that's kind of where I'm at with it. I just think that, like we said yesterday on the way home, I was talking to you guys, she's gone through a lot. And she can't receive everything, right? And she don't communicate very well. And she's expressed to me that she does not. But when somebody tell you, yo, I'm struggling too, and you say you care about me, at least shoot me a not right now, or go the fuck away, or this ain't the time, or anything at all is what I'm asking for. And so it starts turning into resentment for me. At this point, it's like, all right, man, whatever she doing, it ain't of God. Whatever she doing, it ain't of the betterment of myself. Whatever she doing, she ain't thinking about me. And whatever it is, I'm reacting poorly to it. So I don't know. I just feel like some people, and this is really what it is. Some people just don't align with anything unless it aligns with them completely. If it ain't exactly what I want it to be, when I want it to be, I'm not letting it in. And because I have the ability to turn my heart on and off, that's what I'm gonna do. And I think she may be one of those cold-hearted people. I'm starting to think she's one of those. Like, she's half of a sociopath half of the time. Like, maybe I care today, but tomorrow I don't care at all. And you can feel whatever you want to feel, and I'm not worried about the consequences of you feeling that way, because I know, push come to shove, you just gonna leave anyway. It's that kind of energy. It's like, but I'm not. You're gonna push me away, and you probably do that to the other people that you've learned that from. But even that requires some communication to understand, for which there is very little, if any, you know. So that's another reason why I just be getting out of the house, because I always find myself wrapped up around people who don't respect my mind, or don't give me what it is that I need to be able to settle into my mind. And because I got these mental health issues that I've always had, and it's just like, damn, these are the wrong people for me to be attached to. Never mind they're good people or bad people. This is the wrong type of mind for a mind like mine to be roped into. And at this point, I can clearly hear everybody following me. Said anybody who's ever heard me talk about Kate would probably tell me to leave her alone at this point. Like, I would tell me to leave her alone at this point. Because it's obviously a disconnect and a lack of respect somewhere. And it makes me look like I'm selfish when I express it. And it feels like she's retaliating to me, or rather toward me, in regards to communicating when I did. Like, she didn't appreciate me calling her out for what she did, so now she's gonna give me the silent treatment. Or she didn't appreciate I gave her 3 hours of silent treatment after she had done something that hurt my feelings. It's like, wait a minute, what is it that it actually is? So I can respond to it properly. If it's one of those, then I can respond to that a certain way. If it's not that, then I can respond to something else a certain. So it's like, I'm concerned that this person takes me for granted so much that she doesn't give a damn about the consequences of hurting my feelings. That's where I'm at with it. That she is so defeatist in her attitude about who loves her and who doesn't, that she found somebody that really does care about her and she can't recognize that. Like, she doesn't equate in her head. And I don't know what that is. But it's getting to a point where it's eating away at my appreciation for her, which is unfortunate. Because she's done a lot of things that we talked about that I did appreciate. And she said a lot of things that make me think she wants a future with me, or at least appreciate trying to find out if there is one. And so when I try to invest in that, in any way, there would be required some communication for that to work, for that investment to work out. And so when I get up and say, hey, good morning, it's like, I never leave her on red. You feel me? As soon as she hit me up, I'm hitting back quick. Maybe that's the problem. I need to be playing games with people like this. And that's the point. It's like, for me, I'll tell y'all, I don't play games. You see how I am. I'm open with the whole damn world. So all the little mental games, let's do this. I'm a Leo, man. I ain't interested in none of that stuff. Let it be what it is. Let it not be what it ain't. And if you want to play games with somebody who's going to toy with your mind by way of lies and different weird timing circumstances, then you need to be dealing with somebody who's a player and a pimp. And chances are you're going to end up with what it is you're looking for. You ain't going to get nobody stand up. What you're going to end up with is somebody who cheat on everybody while they're really good at it. For which she's starting to, seem like that's what her energy is. Like, she could care less because she probably got like 8 other people she's doing this to. That's like I said once before. So it's like, if you don't communicate, clearly this is where my head gonna go. And there's gonna be a lack of respect on my end once I get a hold of what it is that I need to get a hold of. It's the same thing that happened with my ex. I was going crazy over her for the longest time, but once I healed, I left her life overnight. She ain't heard from me since. And I know she may be watching, she may be not. I don't miss her. Why? Because she showed me throughout the course of time that she didn't respect me or care for me in the way that I deserved, and would toy with my mind in various ways, or toy with my emotions in various ways, because she didn't care if I was there or not. So when I finally got a hold of the strength to do that, I left. When I finally healed, fully healed, and it took a very long time, I left her while she thought everything was cool. I really did. I did it in a very cold way too. She was getting ready to go on a vacation with her dude. And she had told me that she wanted to marry this man. That was what gave me the closure I needed. I'm like, well, good, what the hell do I have? I ain't got no reason to be here. We ain't even that good of friends. So if we ain't building something that could be bigger than that, then what the hell? I don't benefit in any way from having a friendship with you. Because that's what we have shown each other over the course of the relationship. If we ain't working on a relationship, we ain't even good friends. That's what it was with her. So like, she thought everything was cool. We were having great conversations. Friendship was great. She was getting ready to go on this vacation, or this work thing. It was a work thing that she was going on / vacation with her dude. Initially, I think, I don't want to be out of turn, but I thought she was going to be going on her own or something. I don't know. But at that point, I already knew she was with her dude. So it didn't matter. Point was, she was going to be going. And I said goodbye to her when she was getting ready to get on the flight. And by the time she got back, I was going out of her life. Like, I knew that at some point in time, I had found the strength by way of the prayers that I had been praying, the healing that I'd gone through. I went through a whole cry night. I knew that I was gaining the strength to finally break away from her permanently, not just from her life, but spiritually. All the different times, and I had been holding on to this woman for almost 10 years, whether she was in my life or not. I was on her. But the Lord gave me the strength to finally break away. And when I realized I had that strength, when I realized I didn't need her for nothing at all, that's when I got rid of her. That was when I was done completely. She was going on that trip, and so was I. She was flying somewhere else, I was flying out of her life. I never found out if she cared or not. I didn't care. Still don't. Hope I never see her again, to be honest with you. Really do. Why? Because that's what it became. She had done so much to disrespect me, so much to leave me in a space where I felt like she ain't giving nothing to care about me. At that point, it was like, all right, cool. As soon as I get my strength, I'm out. As soon as I gain the ability to leave you alone, I'm gonna do that. Whether we didn't got into an argument, whether we were happy, whether everything was great, whether you needed me, you put me in a space. I thought that was a dime. I don't know why I'm thinking of quarters ain't there, the dimes ain't there, but whatever. I thought that you cared about me enough to respect me in a way that we had discussed. Me and her had good communication, so it wasn't an issue about whether or not we knew what was what. But she just had these traits that didn't respect me at all. She had done a lot of things over the years that just made me feel horrible. And even though we had gotten back in friendships and had started talking again on a positive level, I was still in love with her and all this understanding. And she would throw her relationship out there, and we discussed it. But it was like once she told me where she was at with it, it was like the trigger to give me the strength to finally stop loving her the same way. And I thank God for that. I ended up going, like I said, I went through a whole motion where I was having a hard night one night. I had to let her go spiritually. I said prayers to let her go. I cried and declared all the different type of stuff to God. That was when I started doing my push-ups. It was that whole thing with her that ultimately prompted me to start that process that I did, which has since pushed me into a space where I like where my chest is at. It's been what, 2 years, 3 years almost? But once I had that moment, once she said what she said, I was like, oh, thanks. That's what I needed. That's what I needed. That's all I needed. It's some closure, some complete and utter closure. Once I had that, And now granted, I'm a better person than I was at that point. A lot better. So I wouldn't have left her life without a conversation today. I wouldn't do that. But what I'm telling you is, there is nothing in me that wants to see or speak to that person at this time. Nothing. And I thought I couldn't let go of her at all. She had left my life for as long as a year and a half, and I was still tripping. Like it was nothing breaking the soul tie. But I let God in. He let me let her go finally, and she said what she said. It finally prompted me the strength to get the heck out of there, man. And I dipped out as soon as I felt that strength. As soon as I realized I was good, I was out. Because I felt like it was nothing but time, something demonic felt like it was tying me there. It didn't feel like nothing good. It obviously wasn't for the betterment of my heart. It was to torture me, basically. So I'm like, shoot, I need to dip the hell out of here while I still can. That's how I looked at it. Let me get up out of here. Strong enough, let's go. And so I'm wondering if this is the same damn demon, just in a different human being. Because I feel similar to where I'm sitting here asking for at least some acknowledgement of my feelings. And this motherfucker ain't saying nothing. Like nothing. So it's like, all right. And then like 3 days from now, she gonna hit me up in the morning. Good morning, King. Like it's starting to become a situation where that's empty, fam. And so when I finally get to a point where I'm tired of that behavior and I start calling it out, all of a sudden, I'm a bad guy? For when I call it out, okay, I don't know what you're up to. Why? Because you don't never tell me. So you want to tell me in the moment when I'm holding you accountable for not only whatever it is I'm frustrated about, but for all the stuff that I should have said the whole time, which is my fault. Should have been speaking on that, but it's not like I had low-like conversations with her to do so because she don't communicate. But nevertheless, I go in and finally stick up for myself, so to speak. And what do I get? Now mind you, it's supposed to be somebody who care about me. What do I get? Silent treatment. The same silent treatment I tell her all the time hurts my feelings. Same silent treatment I tell her I can't do nothing with, that are gonna have me going around in circles. Is that what you want me to do? You want me going around in circles that make you feel stronger about yourself? One has to ask. It make you feel more wanted when you realize somebody going crazy over you? It's like at some point in time, you got to realize that maybe I'm not the right person for you, but doing that is going to bring the wrong karma to you. If that's what you're doing. How you doing, man? Like, it's going to bring the wrong karma to you. And that's all it is. A lot of times you look at what people have gone through and what they're going through, and it's like, man, sometimes we just got to understand God be kicking us around because we be kicking others around. He sent somebody into my life like this because I wasn't very consistent with people that love me. And that's what I tell her all the time. You karma for some of the stuff I've done. And she told me, I don't want to be that. Well, at some point in time, you got to change that. She the first person to tell me to step out of my comfort zone. You're very comfortable not communicating. You're very comfortable leaving me in uncomfortable situations. And you know that I don't do well with that. And you do it anyway, but you say you care. You declare feelings. Are those feelings real? And if so, how is it that when I tell you I need something, you ain't never there? How is it that when I tell you that it hurts when you do this, you manage to do it all the time? And how is it that you always manage to be gone when I need you the most? That's why it feels like a demonic energy that's attacking me. Because it's like, it seems like when I have my worst days, she's pulling this. Like, that's what it is. It's like when I'm at my absolute lowest about something that ain't got nothing to do with her, she's also ghosting me to compound the problem. And that's what Satan always does to me. It's the same thing that happened with me when my mother passed away. As soon as my mom passed away, now I found myself in a situation where I had to move out of the apartment. I didn't even really have a whole lot of time to mourn because I was being kicked out of that place. It's like, damn, I can't even pick up the pieces. And my mother passing away, I'm gonna be out here. You know what I mean? It's like, that's how the enemy always attacks me. It ain't enough to just throw one thing at me because he know I'm strong. He gonna try to throw several things at me at once. So it's like you're being used by the enemy. And I told him many times, I was like, you know that's how you do. And I've said this to you too. It's like, it seems like he used her more than God do. And so if this is one of those, I'm like, well, Lord, break it away. Let's break it away. Do the same thing you did with Benita. Don't have me up here over and over again, keep coming back to this person looking to be mistreated. I love myself. I'm not interested in being mistreated by anybody. Least of all, people I say I care about the most, people I pray about the most. And when I pray to the Spirit, it's always like, well, you're in the right place. This is what I want you to do. It's like, well, if you want me to suffer, you gotta understand how much I'm gonna eventually turn. My spirit turns and stuff like this. I stop appreciating the people that hurt me. So if you want me to be in a space where I'm being hurt, you gotta know that I'm gonna turn on the people that you do this with. You gotta know that eventually love gonna turn into frustration. And frustration turns into indifference, and indifference can turn to hatred. And so that's what it's like. I'm trying to keep that type of stuff. I'm trying to keep all those bridges that the enemy be crossing away from me. And while I agree with anybody that says you need to leave her alone, it's like, when is my head gonna catch up to that? My mind can definitely agree, but when is my temperament gonna actually give me the space to give her the space? And so that's what I be walking out the house about, instead of sitting in her inbox being all manic and stuff like I had been doing, for which she just probably, however it goes, you know what I mean? Who knows? I can speculate how she reacts to that, but I really don't know. Maybe she's sitting back laughing about it. Maybe she's sitting there sad about it. I don't really know. But I know she don't pick up the phone. She don't respond. And that's another thing. It's like calling this person. Sometimes I call, but she don't be on the phone for long. You know, one time she said she didn't want to talk. I was like, I'll get off the phone then. You didn't have to stay on the phone that long. So it's like, what do I really have here? It seems like I'm gonna love my damn self, to be honest with you. Like, loving her feels like you hate yourself because she keep kicking your ass. That's what it feels like. And so it's like, man, spiritually, I want the Lord to just get me into a space where either I can unlock the ability to break away from this human being, or I can get her to communicate with me so I can answer some of these questions so I ain't gotta feel like this. Gotta be something. There gotta be something along those lines. There's nothing else that's bringing out positivity in me. And that's the only energy I really want to engage in. It's positivity. I don't want to be put in a position where I feel like this is who the only type of people I'm gonna run into. and then they're pushing away a good person like she's pushing away me. That's what it ends up thinking about. Like, okay, now I get to take this baggage into the next situation, and I'm gonna be having issues with the next person because of the lack of communication she gave me. So I'm gonna automatically think this is what I'm gonna get out of everybody. That ain't what I'm gonna get out of everybody, unless that's what I attract. As to which I gotta be honest about that. If I attract only individuals who happen to be, bankrupt to my feelings or whatever the case may be. And a lot of people just be cold-hearted. They're like, just like her, just be cold-hearted. Okay, let's go get money. That's of the devil, fam. I mean, granted, everybody got to get paid, but that's of the devil. He wants you to be cold-hearted so he can work within your indifference. Just like I said, indifference is cousin to hatred or whatever. So if that's the energy you're engaging in, then of course Satan's going to push away good people by way of your opinions about people. Nobody matters, let's go get the money. Okay, cool. And then you're going to run into what comes with that. And he's going to be able to do all kinds of different things with that and bring around all different types of people around you because of that and all kinds of other stuff. That ain't got nothing to do with the betterment of your life or bringing you to anything that's going to be lasting in happiness. So it's like, and then you get to speculate from there. What type of energy people are engaging in when they don't communicate with you? Are you in the streets? Is that why you so quiet? Because most of the people I know that quiet are in the streets. I mean, it's like all types of weird. Communication is everything. If you're going to say you care about somebody, especially if they're halfway intelligent, if they ain't airheads, you got to communicate something. Give them something. Or tell them to go away. She tell me to go away. I think it would be a lot easier for me to just let this go, start focusing on other things, because it's like you didn't close the door. But see, the problem is people be too damn selfish to do that. They don't want to lose you. And they see you going crazy over them, and they know they don't have to lose you because of it. But it's like, eventually it's going to get the same result. Eventually I'm going to get strong enough to walk away. And when I do, you ain't going to have nothing from me. At least if you tell me to go away now, we can come back later and do something different. Maybe have a different type of friendship. But if you don't communicate, what the hell we going to do? What am I going to do? I'm going to tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to do the same thing I did to my last ex. And leave your life like a thief in the night and never come back. And I told her this morning, one of the messages I sent, I was like, look, If you are indeed pushing me away, I hope you know what that means. And this is exactly what I meant. If you're pushing me away, and I got to deal with this on my own in this mindset, it ain't going to be no friendship later on. When you become mature enough to not do this, or when you come back around to realize that I was somebody you should have appreciated, I ain't going to have nothing to do with you. That's inevitable. That's how my mind works. I care about you until you force me not to, and then I really, really am out of there. And then when it comes to her, it's like it's a bunch of prayers attached to this individual. I don't just care about this human being. I talk to God about this human being all the time. All the time. I pray over her like an ancestor. So it's like, if you don't believe in God, then that don't hold no weight. But if you do believe in God, then you know better. You know better than to do this to the people that do that for you. Especially when they ain't in your family. Especially when you're going through what she going through. It's like you are toying with forces by disrespecting a person that prays for you like that. I just want to say that to anybody and everybody. If you know somebody prays for you hard, those are the people you definitely don't play with. Definitely don't play with them. Because not only are you disrespecting them and what it is that they do, you're disrespecting the God that they talk to about you. You need to give them something. You owe them that. And I'm talking to myself when I say that too. When people pray for me, I owe them some communication. If they ask me, hey man, what's going on? I at least owe them something. And so it's like, I was raised in the spirit. Y'all know I was. And like I said, the spirit has told me many times that I'm in the right place. I'm supposed to love this person. But everything in my natural mind tells me that this person does not respect my emotions unless they're in a space where they're not against it for whatever reason. Whatever triggers her to not give a care, that's when she cares. And she's able to turn that on or off or whatever how that works. And it's like, look, I don't know what the Lord's going to bring in my life. I've been alone for a long time, so I'm never one of them people that just say I can just replace it with somebody else. I'm not wired to do that. That's probably the biggest problem in my life, is I don't play around. So when women run into a man that looks like me, they expect me to be playing around. I'm not wired to do that based on how my psychology works. It ain't got nothing to do with nothing else. I don't be talking to people. I stay to myself. I'm an introvert. So by default, I don't mess around. By default, I'm not dating. By default, there's a lot of stuff, which would explain probably why I'm not handling this as well as maybe someone else would. Because by default, I don't deal with this type of stuff. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, if you gonna play with me like I got a million girls around, I don't. It's not how I'm wired. There was a time, I'm not gonna sit up here and act like I never messed around in my life. When I was in my 20s, I had girls around before I left Dunsmuir. But it wasn't like I was super player, man, nothing of that. And I ain't been like that in years. Years and years and years. So it's like, okay. People don't know, people don't really know who they have in their life sometimes until it's over. And then it's like, damn, this person was really like, all the stuff I thought that person was on, they weren't on that. All these different things that I was projecting onto them from somewhere else, that wasn't who they was. They was somebody else. And that's what I meant by, I hope you know what you're doing. Because I already know if she were to get in a relationship with me, she would never be cheated on. Based on my behavior away from even being in a relationship. By default, I don't be messing with nobody. By default, I don't be talking to girls. So it's like, you're pushing away probably the only dude that ain't going to cheat like that I know. Most of the people I know, man, listen, not to throw anybody under the bus, but most people I know do for self. They do. And not to say that she's any different. I don't know. Like I said, most people I know do for self. But it's like, you're going to get somebody that's like that. You don't know how hard it is to find somebody like that. You know what I mean? They care enough about you to just be monogamous without even really having a relationship involved. Or somebody who's wired a certain way to where they're not going to mess around in a big city like LA. Okay. You talk about your loss? People act like good men grow on trees. I don't know what to tell them. I don't know what to tell you, boss. We do not. God didn't make too many of us. And if he did, he ain't gonna throw them around, just toss them in your life when you toss them away. You gotta look at it like that too. You get a good person in your life. How many of those you think God gonna send you? How many? When you toss one away like you don't give a shit, you think the person you're gonna end up with gonna really be that great of a human being? If you're not that great of a human being, you gotta look at stuff like that. People be tossing good people away, real love away. Let me get this money. Let me do this. Let me go. All right, cool. But you're gonna want to settle down with somebody, and that person you were supposed to settle around with, it ain't somebody that you thought. It ain't gonna be the energy you thought. Whatever it is that you are drawn to, chances are it ain't no good. Maybe that's what I'm dealing with. Maybe somewhere along the way I pushed away somebody I shouldn't have, and now I'm drawn to somebody that ain't. I don't know. I ain't ruling that out given how I'm being treated. But I know I don't welcome that. You know what I'm saying? I don't welcome that. That's not what I'm about. That's not what I'm praying for every day. But if that's what this is, and God, get that out of my life, man. I'm cool. I'm ready for a good person. I'm ready for somebody who's going to actually respect and reciprocate the energy that I have. And if ain't nobody meant for me and I'm supposed to die before I ever had it, then get this person out of my life so I can move on with what it is I'm supposed to be doing. Instead of looking for some type of love somewhere where love is not found. That's what I tell God. Like, look, I was raised by somebody who never got married. I know not everybody has everybody or somebody, you know what I mean? There's somebody for everybody. No, it ain't. No, it ain't. My mom never got married. So I'm not one of those people that think there just is a match for me. Nah, I just don't want to be confused by that. Barking up the wrong tree. I don't deserve that. Based on how good of a human being I'm trying to be. So that's what I gotta say. I wanted to see this. I do. Probably ain't too positive for her mindset, as we talked about yesterday, send people stuff they can use. But if they ain't gonna communicate with me, it's like I don't know what else to do. I want them to know what's really on my heart, and I want y'all to know too. I care about this person more than I probably care about anybody else outside of my family. I pray about this person more than I pray for some people in my family. Because I thought that there was a good chance she could end up with me in family some way. And so if that's what I'm looking at, if those are the characteristics that I'm looking at, you can't overlook characteristics that are not meant for you just because you found somebody you want to be with for whatever set of reasons. If these characteristics don't vibe with you, how can you be with that person? All you're going to do is spend the rest of your life having these problems. And you tell yourself, well, this person can grow. Maybe they can. But maybe it's going to take losing you for them to grow. I don't know. But I can see the application of that being possible. You know, I can see that being the case. Especially in situations like this, where I'm not being respected for none of my communications. Things that I'm saying that it's pour my heart out, I don't get no response. It's like, I know who I am as it pertains to me being a good person. I know how good of a human I am. I know that a good woman I'm pointed at would be wise to at least consider me. There's a lot of things wrong with me, but there's more right, especially as it pertains to treating somebody right. But if you're gonna go after a demon in life, or if you're gonna do things that are gonna bring out demonic energy in your life, whatever the hell it is, since I'm getting no communication, then you're gonna see the Lord remove me from your life, and all this energy that you're getting is gonna be gone. All this feeling about, all this, thinking you're special and feeling about you being special, it's just not gonna be the case no more. And you're gonna have to find somebody else who will otherwise give you that energy when you come around to realizing that's the energy that you should have had. And life is too short for that. Even though the lady I'm talking about is younger than me, she ain't young enough to be playing around like that. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. She not. To be playing around with good men when they come into her life who want to be serious with her and want to take her seriously and want to forgive her for stuff and all this other energy. Treat them like they did you wrong when they trying to understand why you're doing them wrong. Or if you're doing them wrong, need some communication to come to an understanding with that. So I'm at a point where I'm like, look, that's what it is. She ain't got too many more times to treat me like this. I'm still stuck to her today, but as soon as the Lord gives me the strength to walk away, it's going to be up to her whether or not I do so. Y'all know how much I talk about her on this channel. You know how important she is to me. But at this point, I don't feel it. I'm not feeling the love coming back. I'm holding on. I'm holding on for dear life, y'all. BDF 44. I thank y'all for watching. I'm out.